Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Elial, and today, January 21st, we have the moon in Pisces. We could be much more sensitive, intuitive, but also more exposed to the energies of the environment, which is, in general, it is important to protect our energy and to put boundaries. But this is especially a key when we have Piscean energy. These are days that perhaps being in spaces with a lot of people or a lot of noise or very negative energies could be especially overwhelming. On the other side, this extreme sensitivity could also be traduced in being a little bit chaotic or confused if we are not giving an order to what is happening inside, if we are not taking the time to assimilate emotional states or observing thoughts. Because beyond this, today the Sun and Mercury united in the degree 1 of Aquarius, and tomorrow Mercury is going to perfect the contact with Pluto in the degree 3. The Sun is super close, and in short also is going to be Mars, and transits of Mars and the Sun, we feel them with much anticipation, even when they were transiting the last degrees of Capricorn at the end of the last week. When the Sun and Mercury are united, we experiment this phase of understanding. Not necessarily something that we understand today. It could be previous days or days after. There could be some revelation, information that comes to us, a conversation, a communication that leads us to this point of realization of an experience. And as it is happening in Aquarius, could be that understanding involves connecting several points, events of our lives, fitting the pieces in a greater scheme, a solution or a creative idea that opens field for something much different that we didn't have in account before, that we didn't take in account. So because they are very close of Pluto, could be that this solution or this idea demands to face certain fears or resistance to that new thing. Perhaps because we need to leave behind something, because we need to respect the process of transformation that the situation requires. And Pluto rules the shadows, the unconscious, the death, the the low pulsions of human beings, and the Sun illuminates, brings to the consciousness. Mercury is the access, the mental access, and the processing that we do of the information that is being revealed. So we could be talking about things that were hidden in Aquarius, and many times we could talk also about things that are impacting us or that are modifying the way that we were conceiving the experience. This means that, in some situations, this information could be related to situations that are painful or traumatic, abuses of power, things that weren't said or that were kept in secret. On the other side, could be very freeing for ourselves to put in words something that we need to express, that we have judged or rejected from us or from our life, and share that thing in a safe space. For others, could be that situations that implied in other moments a great transformation or a great impact are re-emerging right now, so they can process whatever thing is there already, and to find a new perception that can be, that can function as overcoming those experiences. I'm talking about perhaps understanding how those situations brought us to this point, or to be who we are at this present moment. In fact, Pluto transits are very, very good to go to therapy or go into the roots of traumas and unconscious patterns that are limiting us to transmute them. Yesterday, I was saying that this could intensify obsessive focuses or behaviors that perhaps are addictive. And what is visibilized right now, was already there. It is just that Pluto is a planet of extremes and of concentration of the energy, which could be very positive if we are directing that energy to the certain space for the path of oneself. But also could happen that there are forms of thought or experiences that are causing discomfort or emotions that are uncomfortable, resentment that was accumulated. Desires of revenge is something very Plutonian, but also could be an obsessive focus in something that we believe that is beneficial, and perhaps behind that there is an attachment, whether this is sexual, mental, emotional. And whatever the case, this is the moment to face that and to go into the veil. I am referring that if these are aspects that were unconscious. We could go to the core, and this is the part that could be difficult the most, because we need to accept something that perhaps we're causing rejection, that we don't want to be or to feel. And only the ones that have the courage to observe themselves with honesty, without judging but without justifying, have the power to make that change. I'm going to put examples right now. If I am in a conflictive conversation and I am sustaining certain position in that conversation, communicating or explaining something, am I doing that because that is truly according to the authenticity of my soul, or is simply a power struggle where the ego doesn't want to lose and it is taking me to drain my energy, or vice versa? I am having fear of saying something with honesty, perhaps because I want to avoid dealing with with the reaction of the other person. I mean, with what produces in me the reaction of the other person. And we are not responsible of that if we are truly talking in an assertive way without intention of hurting or manipulating. Also, the fear of the reaction many times hiddens the fear of rejection, or the fear of the change that could be produced after expressing that thing. Having accumulated resentment could be given because we are giving once and again, the power to a situation that is retiring our freedom. Manipulation emerges because we are pretending that someone or something can cover up, perhaps avoid, and it is oneself the one that we have to inhabit that to connect with our own light, or choosing to invest our energy in other space where we can feel that we can grow, or where there is reciprocity. The traumatic situation could return because there are still aspects that we need to process and to feel. And it is good to be compassionate with ourselves and to give the space, instead of forcing ourselves to be another point because we don't want to feel pain. So giving ourselves the license, the license to do that is actually what impulses the transformation. And we can apply this to observing a fear of doing or saying something. What is behind that fear? What is the dialogue or programming that is generating that? And what happens if I simply cross it? If this happens with an attachment to something that we think that is beneficial for our lives, but perhaps it is not happening, an expectation that is not accomplished, instead of trying to repress that or continuing, I'm mixing languages, feeding the circuit, we could ask, what do we believe of that situation or person is actually producing in our lives? What do we believe that the person or the situation is offering or is taking away, that is generating that sensation of extreme attachment? If that is something that truly leads us to growth, or it is something that at this moment we can give to ourselves, or if that is an illusion, that if I obtain that, all that is uncomfortable right now, it is going to be resolved. And if still after these questions we are, in contact with a genuine desire, the attachment, it is linked to a genuine desire, but that right now it is not in our control, the outcome, we could practice to detach from that, putting the attention in other projects or things that we can actually do at this moment to move forward to that in a more fluid way. And again, these transits are not showing parts of us that are comfortable. So this requires an effort of redirection and transcendence. The consciousness, the awareness has the power to disarticulate things that we tell to ourselves to sustain us in the same known place, but that is very limitant. In fact, Plutonian transits could lead us to that point where we are actually feeling fed up when we are touching an extreme. It is that recognition of what we don't want no more in our experience, because it is conditioning our lives and it is producing this excessive suffering. So I just wanted to leave this message today. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.